Welcome to Reread. We're on Book 2 of The Legacy of the Jedi. This is Bloodlines, written by Karen Travis. Look out. Fett is dying. We're told at the very beginning he's 71, so the same age as Han, according to Aaron Alston's first book. Aelin, his daughter, is 55, and that's kind of wild to think, because I think she was only mentioned like one comic book, Tales, for crying out loud, the Tales comic book, where he had a daughter and a wife for a little while. And that was explored, I believe, just in that book. It could have been other ones too. But and actually, the Tales of the Bounty Hunters, his whole story of Jaster Muriel comes into play as well here, as he says that was also, when he was on Concord Dawn, was that short, brief moment where he got married, had a kid, and then went their separate ways. Now, Aelin thought that she had killed Boba Fett. I don't know where this was. I don't think this was shown. I think they just kind of said it. That she thought she killed Boba Fett, took over his armor, and it is told that she was kind of the Boba Fett that we saw in the Slave 4 and Kevin J. Anderson's young adult series. So that's why that Boba Fett talks a little bit more and maybe acts a little bit different. And I guess that was a way to explain it, even though I thought there was nothing wrong with that type of Boba Fett. But that's kind of what they kind of, retcon a little bit there. Anyway, Luke does sense Lumaya on Coruscant. He knows that she's the Phantom. Well, he knows, I think deep down he knows there's more to that. But Lumaya is visiting Jason on the planet, and Jason, just to test Lumaya, brings her within striking distance of Luke. Not once, but twice, and she doesn't bite on it. But at the same time, it's a very dangerous game, because she's trying to hide in the Force, and Jason's trying to fool Luke. And Luke is somewhat confused, but it does work. He doesn't sense that Lumaya is there. But later on, he knows that she's on the planet, and she is the threat that he senses. Fett is told to hunt down Kosai. This is from the Imperial Commandos books. Karen Travis never got to finish that story. So this is kind of, in this series, she's going to tell you what happened to those clone troopers. Obviously, they survived, because Fett's granddaughter, we find out later on, tells him that she has met a clone who is his age, like 71. He's like, that's impossible. That clone would be 140-something by now. But no, the clones must have found a way to age normally, which is what they were trying to do in the Republic Commando books. So now he wants to hunt down whatever happened to Kosai and Tonwi, from the episode 2. And Tonwi's the closest thing he has to a mother, but he knows deep down that's not his mother, and he kind of works through these kind of feelings in the book, which is actually pretty good. Now, there's a great scene. Of course, Aelin is hired to kill the Solos by Thrakansel Solo. She gets captured. Jason, who does not know who she is, kills her during the interrogation, which is kind of wild stuff. And then later on, of course, Fett finds out she died in the interrogation. He is with Han and Leia at this time. And Leia is just mortified that she's like, because they're whispering that Jason killed her during interrogation. And Han can't believe that, because he can't believe Jason would be that cold-blooded. But at the same time, this is very dangerous. Now, is Boba Fett going to go after their son? And no, Boba Fett decides, you know what? I see what path he's taking. He's going to be like Darth Vader. And that's enough torture for any parent to go through, so I'm just going to let him live. Now, would Boba Fett really do that is the question. I've heard people say this, because no, he would probably get revenge as much as he wanted to see his daughter. Would he kill the person responsible? Possibly. And I can kind of see where he feels bad for the parents, says, oh no, I'll let them live in anguish, because their son's going to go to the dark side. Yeah, it's a two-sided coin for me. I can see both sides, but definitely if they were going to start the story, obviously Boba Fett cannot kill Jason, even though we all know how this ends. I thought maybe wouldn't it have been cool if maybe Jaina and Jason are just, had this drag down, knockout fight. Jaina cannot, let herself kill. She can't make herself kill Jason, and Jason knows this. And so during a weak point, she hesitates. Jason's down, but she can't strike him down. She knows she has to, but she can't. And Boba Fett delivers the killing shot for his daughter, like several books later at the end. That'd have been a good ending, I think. But of course, I didn't write this. Karen Travis did. In this book, Thrakansel Solo finally meets his fate. Han wants to kill him. Boba Fett wants to kill him. Murta Give, which is his granddaughter, Boba Fett's granddaughter, everyone wants to kill him. So when the time comes to kill him, Han's just like strangling him, and Boba Fett's like, come on, Han. Come on. You better kill him quick or I'm going to shoot him. And then, of course, Murta ends up shooting him. Well, it's funny that everyone wants him to die. And it's so great that a character from the Carillion trilogy in Bantam got to have such a long shelf life. Like his years with the Vong and everything, all the trouble he's been giving them, to up to now, that he finally meets his end. I don't know if Roger McBride Allen followed the EU afterwards, but he's got to be proud that his villain was foil for the Star Wars heroes for years to come. Anyway, when Han and Leia arrive back on Coruscant to retrieve the body of Boba Fett's daughter, they won't even look. Han won't even look at Jason, and he's very cold to him and stuff. He goes, "I guess your dad's a stone cold killer, so no surprise his son would be too." And it's hard stuff because this is it. There's no more Jason anymore. Leia's looking at him like she's never known him before. She doesn't know who's standing behind him. Jaina doesn't even know who he is now. And so obviously the turn is practically official at this point. And then it was kind of soul-crushing. I'd forgotten about this, but there's a great scene that Karen Traviss puts in there about Boba Fett wanting to see his daughter's face. Now his daughter's all busted up, bruised, broken teeth and everything because, Jason really messed her up. And that's another thing. Yeah, I'm probably now on the side of Boba Fett killing Jason. He probably would have. But he says even though she was, and he's, feeling her skin, feeling her hair, and even though she wanted to kill him, she still wanted to kill him. That was the whole plan, was the granddaughter to lead the real Boba Fett to her mom so her mom could kill her, kill the real Boba Fett. And even though she wanted to kill him, even though she hated him, Boba Fett loved it, and even though she's a 55-year-old stranger, Boba Fett hasn't seen her. She was a little baby, and 55 years later, here she is dead, bruised up, but it's still Fett's little girl. Man, I don't know if it's me just being a dad and have my own little girl and everything, but that was really good. It's very good. The ending I really enjoyed. You feel for Fett. Fett decides to be a Mando or whatever, go to Mandalore lore, because that's what Karen Traviss loves. She's known for a Mandalore. And thankfully there wasn't as much as that. I call it garbage because I thought, to me it wasn't that interesting. The old Mando way. We talk Mando speak here. We're all cool. And Boba Fett doesn't think that's that big of a deal, but now maybe wanting to connect with his granddaughter, they both decide to take it. And it's just a way to take Boba Fett out of the storyline for now. But his storyline will continue as he's, basically his whole body's just falling apart at this point. But overall, that one last scene where he looks at his daughter was just really good. And, I've made fun of Karen Traviss in the past. I've liked one Clone Wars book she wrote, and this one's good. In fact, the whole series, she's not bad in this. I remember thinking, oh no, Karen Traviss. But overall, it wasn't bad. In fact, the first one, Bloodlines, is a very good book. And again, just like Aaron Alston's, these are smooth to read. I mean, it was just like, I could go to the next chapter, and it was just like, man, this is great. I was just loving it the whole way. So kudos to her. All right, folks, next up, book 3. See you then.